folks, thanks for tuning in once again. Today just going to show you a little bit about keg training. So here we go, just got a keg. I suggest when you first start out with keg training, go light. You can add water, sand, even gravel, but just start off with a little bit of water, because even weights of 20-30 kilos can be quite challenging when you first start using them because of the water's sloshing around and so forth. So there's a couple of different ways you can do this. So I try to avoid these hand holes here because you don't want to get your fingers caught in there. I've seen it happen before. People get their thumbs caught in here and it bends back the other way. So don't put your hand in those holes. So the first way you can use is a mixed grip. So just taking a wider stance, kicking it up, flat back, nice and flat, pull it up to your chest, feet together, and press overhead. So you just want to lock it out, nice and high at the top. Right there. So you don't want it to come forward, throwing you forward, you don't want to go too far back because that water will be sloshing around. So back down the chest, feet out, flat back. Oop. So you can probably see that water sloshing around is really throwing me back and forth. So mixed grips usually used with the weights a little bit heavier. Even so, when the weight gets a little bit heavier, you sit on the lat first, instead of there, reset if you need to, and you really use that hip extension to throw it up and overhead. So flat back, pull it up, sitting, and bring your feet together if you need to, and really triple extend up overhead. So that's a couple of different variations. Also, if you're just doing a just a shoulder press, same deal. Come up, you can sit it. If it's heavy, press it up overhead, back down to your chest, overhead. And you'll probably find that my right arm will be doing most of the work, so make sure when you finish that set, alternate grips, just so you can even it out, because in that position the weight's going to be obviously shifted to my right arm because all the water's tilted that way. The other variation, usually when the weight's a lot lighter, so just having hands either side, just going to flat back again, pulling up the chest. So that's quite challenging. Plus you go a bit lighter. Back down the chest. Put it back down. Try to keep that flat back as much as possible. If you're having trouble keeping that flat back and maintain that relatively neutral spine, go lighter, best bet, because these things can be quite difficult to use. So I'll just do a side view. So this one at the moment is probably half full of water. Sit this one first, readjust, and we'll use that triple extension. Back down to your chest. Sit it back down. Now besides those movements, so your typical clean and press or shoulder press, or if you want to do a jerk, whatever sort of thing you're using the keg for. Also, they're great for doing holds or carries. So simply just picking the keg up and walking for distance. Same thing you'd probably do with, you know, say your Atlas stones, your rocks, sandbags, all those type of things. So or even like a shouldering. So if you were to do a shouldering, the shoulder that I'm going to go onto, I'll put that arm on top, and then the other one can go on the bottom. Just swap sides. Try to keep flat back as well through this movement. So these are quite brutal, don't need to go heavy once again. Also, once again with your carries, can go mixed grip as well. And simply just pulling it up above your hips and just walking back and forth. Depending on sort of what a distance you want to do, could be 50 meters there and back. Once again, the weight will sort of determine that as well. You could also get a bear hug. So if you get long arms, you can cross your hands together, but my arms aren't that long, so I'll just have to hug it hand over hand like that, and just basically walking for distance. Sitting it down nice and gently. So that's a few different exercises you can use, guys. Hope that helps. I'm Nick D, and thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.